This is Warner Todd Houston for Publius Forum.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you.
Okay. 6 feet tall, 220 pounds. Been black all my life. What else?
Well, one question I had was about how the Godfather's pizza chain. I think that's a pretty amazing story, really.
Yeah.
Turning that around in as bad a shape it was.
Yes.
But what put you there? How did you end up
Well,
in the pizza business?
I was a. Let me just go back a couple of steps. When I went to Pillsbury, I was a manager in a business analysis function.
Okay.
Was able to work my way up in various responsibilities, and eventually I became a vice president of the Pillsbury company. I was an officer of the company, and I was vice president of what is called IT today in most corporations, information technology. I was the corporate information technology VP. And the other thing is, they asked me to take that assignment when I was 34 years old. You know, arguably may have been the youngest vice president in the history of Pillsbury. I didn't say the youngest black vice president. I was the first vice president outside of public relations that they ever had. But I don't keep count of it. I don't keep a color scorecard. But I was arguably the youngest vice president in the history of the company, and I was very proud of that. And so once I got into the IT job, they called it then Vice President of Systems and Services. And we had several major, huge jobs we needed to do. We were making a decision on a new data center, a new computer center, making a decision on a lot of other corporate information initiatives and all of our subsidiaries. Absolutely. And we were also, and so they put me in charge of the building, that we built a new world headquarters building. It was more of a systems job than it was a construction job. And so basically was able to take a lot of the problems and the issues in that particular area and put them on the right track. I'm very proud of that because 5 years after I was out of that job, Pillsbury started what they call the annual Pillsbury Leadership Award. And at the time, I was president of Godfather's Pizza. And they awarded me the very first
And you were outside the company?
I was still, they owned Godfather's at the time.
I see, okay.
Yeah, they owned Godfather's.
Gotcha.
They sought me out
Right.
because they said, who had truly done something that distinguished their leadership ability above so many other people? And the reason was, yes, I had a master's degree in computer science, and mathematics and analysis was my area, but I managed not only getting a new data center, managed the new world headquarters project, managed the logistics of moving people from 9 different locations, 2,000 people into this new world headquarters facility, but also in addition to all of the things that at Pillsbury, back up a little bit from that, and go forward to Godfathers, took over Godfathers when it was in trouble. When Godfathers was in trouble, I took it over, and it wasn't supposed to succeed. We were supposed to fail, but we succeeded anyway. The reason for that, because I have a fundamental approach to problem solving. First, make sure you're working on the right problem. Then you ask the right questions. And then you remove the barriers to success. That model applies to the problem we face in this country. Godfather's going bankrupt. This country is going bankrupt. What are the right problems we ought to be working on? We ought to be stimulating the economy.
Right.
We're not.
Yeah, and that certainly leads to my next question.
Yeah.
You have an incredible economics background. What would you do to turn this country around?
I do 3 things. First, I'd suspend the taxes on repatriated profits. Can I ask for water?
Yeah.
Repatriated profits. There are trillions of dollars that are stuck in, offshore.
Right. Yeah.
The last time this was done was during the Bush administration. They took the 35% top rate down to 5%. $350 billion come flying back into this country. I think it will be more than that this time. So number one, suspend taxes on repatriated profits. Number two, I would lower the corporate tax rate. I do it in phases. The first step would be to lower it from 35% to 25% and say this isn't temporary, this is permanent. Because number three, it would establish some certainty. The business community in this country is looking for certainty, not chaos and uncertainty. Because we've got uncertainty about the healthcare plan, we have uncertainty about the healthcare deform legislation.
Many are saying that's why we're not getting
Exactly.
more employment, because they're afraid to hire because they don't know where anything's going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks. And so those are the first three things that I would do. And that is that, in other words, there's some low-hanging fruit that could help stimulate this economy. Once you stimulate the economy, guess what? Then you can address a lot of the other issues that we face. If our economy doesn't get going, it won't matter what we try to do in a lot of this other stuff. We can't put the money in defense the way we're supposed to. And I believe that Social Security needs to be modernized, Medicare needs to be modernized, welfare some more things need to be done, for welfare and food stamps. Because a lot of people figured out how to game the system. We got to get the corruption out of it. And so, those are the kinds of things that I would focus on. That would be what you call low-hanging fruit. Now, the harder things to do, long-term, is to get rid of this messed up tax code that we have. This tax code is one of the biggest. We waste more money as a nation on compliance than is the size of most countries' GDP. It's ridiculous. We spend more money trying to fill out forms and stay out of jail as businesses and individuals because of the tax code than a lot of companies' GDP. And that makes no sense. That's a drain on our creativity. That's a drain on our growth, just the compliance costs. So those are some of the things that I would do.
Well, I know in the past you've come on in support of the fair tax idea.
Yes.
And I think you're still in that basic mode. Of course, the one concern that so many people have, and I know it's supposedly part of the fair tax idea, but repealing the 16th Amendment,
yes.
A lot of people are afraid that if the fair tax gets too far advanced, that a repeal of the 16th Amendment will sort of fade away, and then we'll end up with two taxes. We'll have the income tax and the fair tax, national sales tax idea. How would you address that issue?
Well, I would. Here's how I would address it. First of all, the concern that we'd end up with both, with the current crop of politicians, is why people don't trust them. That's why. But the way I would handle it is I would do it in phases, because the American people may not be ready to understand and support it if they got it cold turkey. I believe that we can get there. But what you do is you either pass in the fair tax legislation that was introduced by John Linder, they have language in there about the 16th Amendment. And I would make sure that you did not allow members of Congress to strip it out. You got to keep that, and I don't remember exactly what the language is. Yeah. But there's something in there about
there is something in there that has to be repealed first. But as you say, the strip out is the biggest problem.
Exactly.
Look at what they're saying right now is Harry Reid is saying, oh no, the cap and tax, cap and tax is out of there, but everyone knows that they fully intend to just slip it right back in later after they reconcile the bill.
Exactly.
And that's the problem we face, and that's why I'm kind of afraid of the fair tax, although I understand the principle and appreciate the principle. But, you can't trust these guys.
That's the problem. And that is another problem we've got to address. And it starts in November 2000. It starts now, but we will see it November 2010.